I'm
What's
so
happening?
sorry. I had to get on my sister's IG because my phone is not working, and we like took it to the place and they closed. Yeah, they didn't even let us know or nothing.
Damn.
So I'm stuck without a phone.
It's all good. Like I was saying, we was having technical
Yes, sir.
difficulties, but we got through it. And if we was gonna blame somebody, we was gonna blame Big D, the weatherman. So don't even worry
Nah, it's
about it.
not even
It's
his
all Big
fault.
D's
Really, it's
fault.
the phone store's
But
fault.
anyway,
They could have let us know it's something.
it's it's all good. It's all good. Well, welcome to the Making Plays Convo. And really, we're just gonna be talking about all the dope plays you've been making and how you made them. But I always like to ask, how are you
I'm
and
good.
your
I'm
people
good. How
doing
are
during
you?
these times? Doing good, no complaints. I'm out here in Atlanta, and that's actually where I met you. You probably don't remember. It was like a
Yes.
year ago when you were on promo tour out here with Rock Nation, and I think I met you. It was at Del Frisco's. So we was eating good
Okay.
that day. It was on Rock
I
Nation
think
too.
I remember. I think I remember.
Yeah, you had just dropped more in the morning, and I was thinking back. I was like, damn, that was such a good song, and now everything has come full circle because you
Thank
just
you. Thank
dropped
you.
an
I really
incredible
appreciate it.
project.
I've been working on that
So,
project for like 2 years now.
so congrats to you. I know. You put your heart and soul into it. We're gonna talk about that in a little bit, but really, I just want to get an idea of what you were working on before this year got crazy and everything started shutting down. What was your
Same
plan going
thing.
into
We was working
2020?
on the project. It definitely did slow it
Okay.
down a little bit, but everything happened for a reason. I definitely trust God's timing, and it's like if had I released the project a year ago when it was really supposed to come out, then the product is now, it probably would have never been like that. So
Mm, makes sense. Did you have like any shows or
So I
tours
have
lined up
virtual
or anything like that?
shows like lined up and stuff like that. I'm actually shooting a virtual
Okay.
show really, really soon. I don't want to spoil it, but it's gonna be super, super dope, and I'm really excited for it.
Okay. Looking forward to that. So let's go back to the beginning. You was born and raised in the BX. I heard you penned your first song when you were
No, no,
seven
no.
years
So
old. Is
the
that
first
true?
time actually, I first started singing at such a young age that I don't even remember. I always say 7 years old,
Yeah.
but professionally, I went to the studio at 11 years old, and I started singing on YouTube at 10 years old.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Oh wow. All right. So you went you was going viral early. So what was it that really first
Really,
got you into
it was
music?
actually a couple things. I was listening to a lot of Alicia Keys, and I just always loved to sing. But really, what really got me into like, yo, I want to be an artist was the fact how I used to watch Hannah Montana. I'm just gonna keep it real and keep it raw. I used to be a big fan of Hannah Montana on Disney Channel, and I just always loved how she could turn it on and
Yeah.
turn it off. She is an artist, and then she was also normal at the same time. You know. So that's really what inspired me to actually write my first
Yeah.
song, which drove me to the studio at 11.
Wow. And I also heard that your uncle was the one who was working your records in
Yep.
New
They
York
snitching.
back in the day. How'd he go about doing it? Because he was running up in both high and power, like
It was definitely
demanding
dope,
plays and
especially being
whatnot.
that again he's one of the hottest promoters in New York City, and so he has a lot of connections. So I was connected with DJs. I was playing in High 97. I was playing in all of these fucking places. I'm like, okay, I know I'm starting to know what this feel like, just a little hint of it. And so it was surreal at the moment, but now it's just like, yo, let's do
Right.
it, let's go.
What was it like that first
The
time you
first
heard
time, it was
yourself on the
actually a
radio?
cover that I had did, and I was like, yo, I wonder what it would
Right.
feel like if my own song was playing. And then I had this old song. It was my first single ever as Angelica Vila, and it's called Making Up My Mind. And that was the first song that I ever heard on the radio as me. It was super
What was that
surreal, and I
feeling
was
like?
really excited, especially being that, it was my first official song being played on the radio. I'm like, yo, like people were starting to hear me, hear my voice, and hear my sound and the stuff that I've been working for like a long time.
No doubt. Then you had your big viral moment when you did that
Yes,
remix of
sir.
the cover of the Wild Thoughts it went crazy, and it caught the attention of a legend, a goat, if
Yes,
you
sir.
will, Mr. Fat Joe. What
It
was it
was
like
super
first
scary
meeting him?
because I was in the studio working on Pretty Lou's single. So that's how he even found me in the first place, because Pretty Lou had posted on his page the freestyle that I had did. And it was
Right.
super scary because I didn't know he was going to pull up. And the song that I was recording in the moment, like, it wasn't tightened up, and it wasn't like, I was still working on it. And so I wasn't confident in it. And so he's a don. He's like, he's been in the game for 15 years. He's an OG. And so for him to
Yeah.
walk in and, you know, I was sounding mediocre. Like, yo, hold up. I wanna tighten this up. But I didn't really have that much time. I had to wing it though.
No doubt. So, what was it that made you end up like signing and forming
Definitely
that
trust, like,
coalition
and
with him?
just the situation, like how it was. It definitely didn't happen right away. It was something that I took my time with.
Right.
I ended up signing like 6 months after I had already met him, because I wanted to build that relationship. I wanted to make sure that, you know, it was a good situation for me, and, you know, not only for me, but my uncle, my family, and stuff like that. Because I do it for my family. Yeah, for me as well, but my family as well too.
Right. That makes sense. Now, Joe is definitely one of the smartest guys in the industry. Every time he speaks, it seems like he's always dropping gems and knowledge. What are some of the things that
Definitely
you've learned
stay
from him so
focused and
far?
stay on my game, because listen, somebody gonna pass you if you slacking. So you gotta be on your game and be on your A game. It don't even matter if somebody gonna pass you. Somebody gonna catch you slipping. Like, I don't want nobody to catch me slipping while I'm
Right.
performing something. Or then I have had those moments, but it was growing and learning experience. So
Mm. Okay, okay, that's fair. That's fair. Let's talk about the project you put out today, though.
yeah,
Deception Season 1. Um, how'd you come up with the
listen,
title, first and foremost?
I know that I'm not the only one who has, and I'm not only going to talk about guys, but in my perspective, I have been through, you know, some fuck boys. And it's like, yo, don't say that you want to hold me down and do all of this and do that. You could spoil me and do this, and that. But then when I catch you, it's like, now you deceived me, and now you're trying to make excuses like, oh, no, it wasn't this, it wasn't that. Or have you ever had a moment where somebody ghosts you? It's like, now I'm deceived. I should have trusted my gut instinct, because I should have never been fucking with you in the first place.
Uh, okay, okay. Well, how you feeling overall? Because like you talked about, this is 2 years in the making. Like, do you feel like a weight is off your shoulders? Are you
I'm super
excited? How's
excited.
the
The
feedback
feedback
been?
I'm getting is so amazing, actually. I didn't know what to expect, because this is my first real body of work. And so, you know, it's really, I'm just listening.
That's
And
right.
I don't think it's a pressure, really. I think that, you know, it's actually easier, because being that this is my first body of work, it's like, this is the introduction. This is like the first impression matters. And so, you know, even though first impression was more in the morning, but first impression as a project, an album, and everything as a whole, it's like, you
Right.
know, but I'm just listening to the feedback, criticism, and all of that, and then just going to apply that to my second project.
No doubt, no doubt. So the standout
Thank
songs for
you.
me were
Okay.
"Why" with Jacquees. Really like that song. "Show Me." I love the way you flipped that
Yes.
classic A Marie beat. And then my favorite one, I actually did this as one of my new music Friday picks, was
Okay.
"Love Too Hard" with you and Tory Lanez.
Thank you. I
That
appreciate
song
that.
just goes.
Thank you.
Yeah, that song just, yeah, for real. So I definitely want to ask you about "Show Me" because what made you pick that sample
You
and
said
how
what?
that song come about? How'd you pick that sample and how the
Oh
song
no,
come
I
about?
love it. What? And then also it's A Marie's anniversary of that same project. So it's like crazy, because I didn't even
Oh,
know that
I didn't
until I
know
seen the
that.
post. I'm like, yeah, you better get it, girl. So I think that sample turned out amazing. The artist that's on it, Sarati, shout out to them. They bodied it. And yeah, they super humble and they show
Yeah.
hella love. So
No, it's a great sounding song. And what about "Love Too
I
Hard"? How
actually,
did that
that
song come
song was
together?
actually one that was set to me. And I'm like, oh, okay. I didn't know who produced it or
Mm,
anybody. I was just like, yo, this is fire. And I went to the studio, I cut it, and then
yeah.
afterwards, that's when the tags got put on there, and then everything was getting tightened up. And I'm like, okay, this is the vibe. This is the vibe. I like this. I'm definitely putting this on my project.
Okay,
So my
how did Tory
team
come into the
from
picture
Rock
on that?
Nation, they had put that together, but it was actually before everything that's happening now happened. Like we had this for like a year already, and by the time like that whole situation had happened with like Tory and stuff like that, unfortunately, we don't know what happened. We do not know what happened. I don't want to assume. I'm staying away
Right,
from it, but it
right.
was a little bit too late to even make any changes and do anything with the project. So thank you. Yeah,
Well,
you
y'all
definitely
sound
did
good
that.
together. So regardless of whatever happened with that
Yes,
situation,
yes,
the
yes. And
song
shout
sounds
out to
good.
Megan because she is my Rock Nation sister.
Nah, absolutely. Like, hopefully the truth will come to the light. I'm praying for both of them because I think they're both great artists and incredible people. But are we gonna get Deception
It
season
ain't gonna be
two?
called Deception, but you definitely gonna get a season 2.
Oh, okay, okay, okay. What do you think it's gonna be called? So this is gonna be
It's
like a
like a love
series or a trilogy
series.
or
Each
something like
song
that, or
in the
different parts?
project is a different
A
episode, a
love series.
different
Okay.
phase of love, of what I'm going through in this love, I guess, in this love, yes, in this love relationship. And you know how there's different stages when you first meet a person.
So
It's like, okay, you gotta prove to me, and then you actually like the person, and then they actually show you their true colors, and then you're like, fuck you, this is, and I should have never fucked with you.
I I always say when you first meet a person, you meet their
Exactly.
representative.
I
You're
like
not meeting
that.
them. For
Okay.
real, for real. Yeah, you
Yes.
meeting their representative. You gotta give it like at least 30 to 90 days to find
Not
out who they
even. Not
truly are.
even. You'd be surprised. You need to wait. Like, I feel like after the 3-month mark, if y'all still good and y'all still solid, then there's some potential up in there. There's some potential up in there.
Okay,
You know?
okay,
But
okay. That's
yeah.
real. That's real. Well, I'm interested to see like what chapter two looks like or season two looks like, and hopefully it won't be deception. Hopefully it'll be like infatuation or
Mm-mm,
love.
mm-mm. I already know the name. I already know. I have an idea, but
You said
the
no.
biggest mistake I did last year was talk about the project while we were still working on it. And then this year, like, it ended
That.
up, I ended up changing certain stuff. I ended up recording the interludes right here in this house. Like, it was just a whole bunch of different changes. Had I dropped the project last
Mm.
year, why wouldn't have been in there? So, again, everything happened for a reason, and I ain't mad.
I ain't mad neither because it's a dope project. So what do you
Outside of
like
music,
doing
listen,
outside of music?
I'm not only trying to tap into music, I'm trying to tap into the fashion. And when I say fashion, like I'm really into makeup. I could go either
Okay.
promoting other people's makeup, the company's makeup, or creating my own line. I definitely want to tap into the fashion world, print modeling, and actually modeling other people's clothes or even my clothes. You never know. I definitely want to tap into the acting industry,
Okay.
dancing industry, and all of that. So
All right. Go ahead and get it. What's one thing that the average person would not know about you?
I feel like when people see pictures of me, they probably think like, oh, like she like this and she like that in a negative way. But I'm really like so open and like I don't know. I'm such a people person. I'm such a people person, and so like
Okay.
people who see me out in the street or something like that. Some of them might tell me afterwards, like, "Hey, I seen you. I was just scared to say something." But nah, I'm always the one like, "Hey, come up to me. Like it's all right." I mean, it's COVID now, so it might be a little bit
Yeah.
risky, but like I'm such a people
Yeah,
person.
yeah, yeah, yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
6 feet
Come up,
away.
but not too close. 6 feet. Absolutely. What
The
does the
rest of
rest of 2020
2020
look
is
like for you?
looking like wherever it want to take me to, where it's God's plans. I definitely got some visuals dropping. I definitely got some pictures that's dropping. I got some more music that's dropping. It's just in due time. And whenever the time is right, yes, it's about the content, but it's also about the execution. So,
Facts. Facts. Well, I'm going to wrap it up with this question right here. Obviously, 2020 has been a roller coaster of a year. It's something we've never seen before, but it's also been a
yes,
year of reflection and just time to kind of center yourself and figure things out because the world basically stopped. Is there anything that you learned during this year or about
I
yourself or just
definitely
life in
learned
general?
that you have to be patient with yourself and utilize the free time that you have. Now, one thing that I say is if this pandemic is over and you still haven't found no new hustle, then you're doing something wrong with your time.
Mm.
So definitely utilize your time, and if you have a passion, don't disregard anything that anybody got to say about it. I mean, yeah, take constructive criticism, but if it's just negative people, like, just disregard them, because 9 times out of 10, the same people who are gonna criticize you is the same people who don't even do the same profession that you're trying to achieve. So
gems right there.
yes,
Words to live by. That's real. Well, I appreciate your time. Thank you so much for talking with me and getting through
yes.
your technical
Thank
difficulties.
you so much.
Be safe. You know, the album is incredible. Keep doing your thing. And once things open up and you come back to Atlanta, you know, come through to the
For
Pandora
real.
office
And
so
we
we
need
can
to
chop it
definitely
up in
do this
person.
again on my page. I'm using my sister's page right now.
Yes, no doubt. Yeah, shout to
Yeah.
DJ Efeezy. He was up in
Yeah, he
here.
was like,
He,
yo, whose
he,
page is this? Efeezy, this is my sister's page.
right, whose page is it? There you go. We had some technical difficulties, but we still had to
Yes,
make
yes,
the
yes, yes.
conversation happen.
Thank
So
you.
thank you so much. All
Peace.
right. We'll talk soon.